as you know, this is where we're going to be. This is going to be our hacking machine. So I already have Metasploitable to download it, but I'm going to show you where you can get it. So if I go to Kali course, for example, I have already downloaded Metasploitable. It comes as a zip file, so you will need 7 zip to unpack, and then it will look like this, like it will look like Metasploitable like that. And then when you download it, you unpack it, and then it will look like this. And from there, we're going to create a new machine. So let me close this. Let me close this. Let me open my virtual box, and I already have Kali Linux. Okay, I have Kali Linux. So let me erase this so I can show you how it's done. So remove everything. Okay. Now, supposedly after you download it, for example, you're gonna go to machines. You press a machine, and then you create new, and that's how you're gonna create your machine. So over here we're gonna say Metasploitable 2, for example. But since I already got the name, so I'm just gonna leave it like that, just for this demonstration purpose. I'm gonna leave it in the default folders. We're not gonna use ISO because, like we mentioned, we're gonna use this Metasploitable already installer, right? This one. So we're not gonna use that. So okay, on that, then we go over here. You say Linux, and then okay, see on automatic it picks it up, and then it says nothing over here. Specify virtual hardware. Over here, for Metasploitable, it works only with one gigabyte, and I only use one CPU for this because I only need the IP in order to do my testing there. I'm not gonna be really working in there, so we leave it like that. Now over here, we're not gonna create a virtual hard disk because we're gonna go over here and use an existing hard disk file. So in this case, we go over here, and we say add. And after that, you go where you have your Metasploitable. In my case, I have in Kali Linux. So I open Metasploitable. I open it like that, and here it is. Okay, so if I press twice, it will open. So I close this. After it's closed, I finish, and look, I have Metasploitable dots because I have this is the one I already have. So that's how you do it. And then after you have it set up, before you run it, you go to settings. In this case, I'm going to be using network adapter. I'm going to be using bridge adapter because I already have it set up in the way like I was playing on the last video. So you can press OK like that, OK like that, and then from there on, you just start the machine like that. Okay, like this Metasploitable, the one that I already have, I got it set up. So only Kali can do connections with this machine. So it's not, since it's in my local network as another computer, as another device, I have it set it up so it doesn't connect with nobody outside. Like you cannot go to internet and nothing like that because I'm not going to use it for that purpose. I'm going to use it for the purpose of doing pen testing on this machine. So that's when I started up. And remember to open it is MSF admin. Okay, so like that, MSF admin like this. Enter MSF admin. It won't in password you don't see it, but it's right. So like that. So if I say if config like this. This is machine 20. So I'm going to be using this IP to do my pen testing on, okay? So let me close this for a moment because I'm not going to use it. I got the other one, and now, okay, let's close it. I did it. You shouldn't save. I don't save, but in this case, I wasn't paying attention. But in this case, I'm going to remove it because I don't need that. I already have, like I said, mine set up. So remove. And this is the one I use, okay? This. But before I open this, while I'm teaching you, let me open my Kali, the one I'm going to be working on. That will be the hacker machine, and this will be the victim or the objective machine. Now, I was telling you that to download, you go to Metasploitable like that, and when you press Metasploitable, it will be different, but they created this, so you press here, and then you go to source forge.net like that, and from there you can download it. Like over here, you can download it. Okay, you can download it from there. I'm gonna cancel because I don't need it right now, so cancel. But after you download it, I'm not gonna. Sorry about that. My little girl came to my room and gave me some ice cream. Sorry about that. Anyway, so after you go over here, you download it. After download it, then you save it on whatever you want to save it. In my case, I have it. So let me put the link. So here's Kali. Okay, now we're gonna go into this. This is the machine that we use. Okay, so now I'm gonna go and start my Metasploitable machine. So I place, as you can see, I go to settings and I show you I have a networks, like I bridge adapter, see network. And then over here, like I was saying, I only use one CPU and 1 gigabyte of memory. So you can know how it goes. Okay, no problem. Now video memory, you can push it like that, so it's quick and check. Okay, now you can start Metasploitable, like I was mentioning. And Metasploitable is gonna be our target machine. This is where we're gonna do our pen testing. This is like in real life. This Metasploitable is a vulnerable software operating system. It has apps. It has different vulnerabilities that we're gonna go through. So okay. So before I enter, I want to check what's my IP over here, and I know what it is, but I want you to do the same like that. So I know mine is 35. So that when I do my scanning, I already have it set it up over here. I have it set it. So let's put the password MSF admin like that. So password MSF admin like that. Now if you go if config like that, you will notice that it's 18. Okay, so that's the IP I'm going to be doing my pen testing on. 18. So you can. So let's do Nmap. Sudo Nmap. I can do sudo Nmap like that. Just sudo Nmap. So you can see how, because we're going to be working with Nmap. And right now it's scanning. It's an aggressive scan. It's scanning everything. On the next section of this course, we're going to talk about Nmap, how with all the commands that we usually use and everything. For the moment, we're going to cut it there because this is an aggressive scan, so it takes a little while. But we're going to go through all different. There we go, friends. And as you can see, it tells you everything you need to know about the target that you're scanning. See, vulnerabilities, what ports are open, and stuff like that. Okay, we're going to talk about it more on the next video. Okay, for the moment, that's it. Peace out, brother. Peace out. Okay, welcome to this section of the course. We're going to work with Nmap. Now, Nmap is a very powerful tool. it's a framework that it helps us do a lot of stuff. So we're gonna go through it. So this is pretty much Nmap from pen testers. Pretty good understanding. We're gonna go pretty deep in it with examples so you can get an idea. And if not, you can look it up later. You know, I already showed you man Nmap dash help, and give you man Nmap like that. So let's do this for example. Now the first thing we gotta do is find the target. So our target in this case I already have Metasploitable running, and this is the object or the victim machine, and this is the hacker machine. Okay, so as you can see, the IP of is if you run ifconfig, it will give you the IP. So it's 192.168.100.18. That's the victim machine or the target machine, if you whatever way you like it. And this is the hacker's machine. Okay, so we're gonna go over different commands, and I'm gonna be explaining you what is each or what is good for, and so on. Okay, so the first command you run, it will be, for example, first of all we got this before we hack anything. We have to discover which machines are alive, right? Before we attack, we gotta see who's connected. So you run this command. For example, you say nmap, okay, nmap-sn like that, and to make it quicker, so it doesn't take so much time, you just boom. And this what it will do is it will scan the network without touching the ports. So only active host it will show over here. Okay, as we remember, our Kali Linux machine, the attack machine is this one. My personal host is this one. This is as it says here, this is the victim machine, or it can be called Metasploitable. And this is some stuff in some devices, personal devices like TV, cells in my local network. Okay, so what's the real use? Is to map the network without making too much noise. Okay, now what's the next command? Okay, the next command will be, let me see. Next command will be, let me check this. That one that we run over here is ARP discovery, they call it in LAN. It uses ARP because it's more trustworthy within local networks. So they use it pretty much. Hackers or pen testers use it when ICMP packets are blocked. Okay, so that this command over here is to make this command over here nmap. Like that. That's just and then 1 and 2 like that. It's similar to the one before, but this one what it does is like I was telling you, it scans to see which hosts are alive. As you can see over here, it says 7 hosts. But what it does, like I was telling you, it makes it in a quiet way, so it doesn't make it loud. Okay, so this is to find out pretty much. That's what you call host discovery, to find hosts that are alive, equipment or devices that are alive in the local network or in the network. Okay, so now we gotta see like port scanning, right? To port scanning, we gotta see which ports are open, what service, and so on and so on. So to do port scanning, we run this command also. You're gonna need it. Nmap, for example, like that, and you say 192.168.100.18, and you run that command. What it does is it scans 1,000 ports, the most common 1,000 ports. As you see, we're scanning Metasploitable, and it tells us that TCP port FTP is open. This is for file transfer protocol, they call it. This is to connect a secure socket shell. This is to connect through remotely, but it's secure. Okay, it has encryption. Telnet you can connect remotely too, but it doesn't have an encryption, and so on and so on. So that's another command that you can use to check the most used 1,000 ports, which one are open, to get a quick glimpse. Okay, now another command that you might use with Nmap, because like I say, it's so many commands, so you can get used to it and practice and get a feeling. This command they call it SYN-SCAN. Like it's still like very quiet, right? It's half open scan, not complete connection TCP. So the reason that hackers do this or pen testers do this is for less logs in the other side on the victim's computer, for example, or the blue team, they won't see that many logs. So this command is like this. You say nmap-s like that, and then you say 192.168.100.18 for example, and it will scan. But like I said, it's half open, and it will give you, see, these commands I'm telling you like that so you can use them. Okay, so you can practice, so you can check, you can feel it. This Metasploitable is designed for you, so you can get the experience that you want before you go into the field. Now another command that you might use to see all ports is this one. So, but this one might take a while. So let's see nmap, for example, nmap. But I would do -t, and I'm gonna do a 4 because it might take too long. So this is, and then you do -p like that, which means all ports. Okay, it means all ports. 192.168.100.18, and you do it. It might take a little while because you're going through all ports. But so yeah, and they use, see, okay, it's done. And this is a scan that is to see if it's any services that are hidden. Okay, so as you can see, this is port 60,141. Well, the other commands that I was showing you at the beginning, they usually do only 1,000, the 1,000 most common port. And this one, for example, goes from over here to 65,000 ports and so on. Okay, 65,535 ports to be specific. So another command that you can use in Nmap to make a fast scan to the most common ports is this one. So you say nmap, okay, -f to make it quick, but to the most common ports it will be 192.168.100.18, which is my Metasploitable, and it will scan quick. Okay, see, there you go, the most common ports, and as you can see, these are the most common ports. So another that usually this command is used for a quick recon in big outlets or pen tests. Yeah, outlets they call it, right? When they do a big company, you want something fast to go through over so many devices. Now, so if you want to see service and version detection, then we use a different kind of command. So you can use this one, nmap, for example, like that, nmap dash, I think it's sv like that. So 192.168.100.18 like that. And what it does is it detects the real versions of the services, okay, to find exploits, specific exploits. See, it tells you that the version of each service. So if you want to go, you can look this in the internet and say in Google, you can look it up. We're gonna go through that later on, but so I don't confuse you. But what I'm saying is, all of these versions they have a vulnerability in a way, so you gotta just look it up. Okay, so we continue straight line. I'm gonna keep showing you the comments, and then we're gonna go into more practical stuff. Okay, so that one detects the services version. Now, how about if you wanted to detect the operating system? Okay, if you're trying to detect, so you run this command nmap -o, for example, nmap -o 168 100 like that. And in this case, 0 IP address, host up, scan. So in this case, it didn't pick it up. It didn't pick the operating system up. Oh, I think I messed up with it. This is a upper ladder like that. Let me see if it picks it up. Yeah, I did. So what we do is to try to pick up the operating system of the unit. As you can see, it says running Linux. Okay, operating system detail Linux 2.6.9 and so on and so on. Okay, so that's another command that you might be using to find the operating system. This way you will know if it's a Linux or if it's Windows, IoT, whatever. It gives you that knowledge. Now, how about if you just want to do one main scan, like only one, like ports, scripts, versions, and operating system? You do this one. You do nmap, for example, nmap. Now, in some cases, at the beginning, if you run it doesn't come out, you gotta do sudo. Okay. In my case, I already did sudo, so I can just write like that. Nmap, for example, -a, like that. So you say 192, which is the victim machine in this case, 168.100.18, and we run the command. This command, what it usually is for laboratories or audits that are in control. The reason being because it's very noisy, because it picks everything up. Okay. And when a hacker wants to hack something, he wants to do it the most quiet or in the most quiet way, right? So, but yeah, this one it gives you everything. It will take a while too, but over here, as you can see, it shows you everything. See. Now this is the operating system. This one over here. It even shows you that you can log in with anonymous over here, and so on. So much information that it shows you. Okay. If you just look it up and go over, you will find so many stuff. Like over here, telling you got a root shell over here. It's a bind shell. So you can get in. It's telling you unexploitable. That's what it's saying. So yeah, here's all the information that you will need. Operating system information back and everything. So now let's see NSE scripts, for example, the brain of Nmap. Have you heard about that? So you can script by category. For example, you can do Nmap to automate stuff, right? Nmap -- script like this. Script default. Okay. And then you do 192.168.100.18 like that. And then you run it. It will pretty much detect vulnerabilities without exploiting yet. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna show you that's one command. I'm gonna let it run, and I'm gonna show you two more, so you can have it in your repository, so you can have it when you're doing your own labs, or when you're getting better, you can practice. You do scans on your local network to see how your computers are protected. I should mention though, you shouldn't be scanning nobody's network, because it's illegal and you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get locked up. So you don't do that. Okay, you focus. That's why I'm teaching you how to create your virtual environment where you can do this testing in a secure way that you don't affect others' devices, other people. You don't mess with the law. So that's how you do it. Okay. So this one might take a while. Okay. So I'm just gonna cut that off. But you have that script now. Another script that you can use, that you can run, but you will have more of the time, is this one. For example, Nmap. You can say -- script rule like that. Then you say 192. In my case, I don't know what's your IP, your Metasploitable IP or your victim IP. In my case, is this 18. So you run. Okay. That's another one that you can use. These are scripts that are within within Nmap that help us to execute the scripts or automatically to detect vulnerabilities without exploiting yet. Okay. So let's cut it off there too. And this is another one that you can use. Nmap --script. This, and then you can go out. Yeah, out 192. Script, yes. Yeah. 192.168.100.18. And then you run it. It might take like I said, a little while because it's automated scans, okay? But when you do this in your own lab, you can take the time necessary because what you want to do is learn, right? You want to become really good. This is what this is for, to upgrade your skills to become good at something. And the only way to become good at something is by putting it into action. Otherwise, you won't make it, okay? So now that we have that, let's go to, you can also run this, see? You see, now that one, like that. You see, it gives you the information that you need. This shit is good, man. This is pretty neat, huh? Okay, I'm not going to go into explanation right now, so let's continue with the commands that you can run. So let's say you want to run a command for specific ports. Let's say you want to go nmap like that. Okay, -p. This is port 21. --script. You say FTP. Then you say 192.168.118, and boom. This one, for example, will look for a specific port, okay, to see if you can log in to get initial access. As you can see over here, it says that port anonymous FTP login allowed. So it's allowed. You can actually log into this machine, to the victim machine, because it has this vulnerability. Okay, that's for that. So how about if you want to find, let's say, scripts, okay? So you do ls / like that. And you say user /share /nmap, for example, /scripts. And then you do a pipe like that. Pipe, and then grep. We talked about grep before. And then you grab FTP in a specific way, and you run it. See, and these are a script that are that you have it at your disposal. Okay, you can use this. That's how you can check it out. Now, how about, look, like I was saying, Nmap is really neat. It's really fantastic. A lot of nice stuff over here. So how about if we want to do evasion and and changing time and stuff like that in Nmap. Well, you can personalize. Let's say you want to make when you do your scanning quicker, or you can do your scanning slower. So you can run this command. Let's say Nmap dash T4 192.168.100.18 like that, and we run it. Now what this does is you make it quicker. Okay. Now this is only pretty much used for CTF or for labs, so you can make it quicker. But when you're doing a scan on a victim machine, pretty much you want to do it in a slower way because like that it's not picked up. Okay. So another one, how about, because we're talking about timing, we're talking about evasion. Okay. How to evade. Okay. So this command pretty much is to evade IDS, intrusion detection system that are pretty simple but not that sophisticated. So you can run Nmap like that. Nmap dash F like this. 192.168.118. And we run it, for example, what it does is it fragment packets. Okay. It fragment packets in making smaller pieces, smaller chunks, so it's not detected. Tell me that's not some cool shit. Okay, and it runs it. Okay, and now another one that you can use, another command that is pretty neat and I like is, and this is for evasion, they call it decoy. Okay, they call it decoy. The last one we run is packet fragments or fragment packets, whatever you want to call it. And this one is this is what you call decoys. Okay, the real purpose for this is to confuse logs. Okay, to create information that is not correct. So what it does is this Nmap command. What it does is -d. It creates decoys. It creates IPs that they're not real, but so it can throw off track the people who's actually monitoring. Okay, so you write it like this. Let's say in this case you say 5, but you can say 10, 15, 20. You can set it up and then you say 192.168.100.18, and you run it, and that's what it will do. It will, when it's scanning, it will change IPs, different IPs. Okay, it will create different for you with the next section of the course. Before we go into Metasploit console, we're gonna do, first of all, we're gonna do an ARP scan local to see the hosts that are alive in the network. Like in my case, I have, this is my host, this is Metasploitable, and so on. So if I go to CMD, for example, and I open, you will notice that if I run ipconfig, you will notice that mine is 15. Okay, so now I know that my Kali is this one over here, 18, and the one I'm running, Kali Linux, is this, the attacker IP, and this is the target IP. So we're gonna run a couple of commands with Nmap, but we're gonna save the files, one only for the ports and another one for the service, so we can have a methodology and we can work in a better way. So let's do this. So we do sudo Nmap dash p dash as that dash min rate 5000 dash that open dash triple B. So I'm telling him I want verbals, so contextual. I want everything as it is happening. I want it to see. So I keep advancing, and then we do n, as I already explained what n is for. So it doesn't look for DNS result. Okay, the target's IP is 192.168.100.18, and I want this file to be saved on. Nmap format. So we say that we're gonna call this port scanner. Okay, port scan. So we do port scan.txt, and we run it. As you can see, this is a very fast scan. You don't do this type of scan when you want to operate or you're doing pen testing. You only do in labs, like we have lab over here. Like that's why this is a lab. See, Metasploitable is running, Kali is running. So you only do it like that. You don't do this or you can do it in CTF too, but you don't, like we talked about, when you do pen test or you do a scanning, you want to do a smooth and very sneaky way. Okay, now we have this. If we do, for example, ls-l, you will notice that we have port / scan.txt. If we do cat, for example, scan cat port _scan.txt, you will notice that we save this information. Okay, now we're going to run another command to select the ports that we want to do, because this information is telling us okay, this information is telling us about the scan we just did. Okay, over here. So for example, 53, 445, and so on and so on. So I want to do another file with the ports I want to look through or that are of interest to me, so I can see, because this is like doors. Okay, attack vectors they call this. So it's different ways where you can, like, I want to check this one. Port 25. This is for email. Telnet is to connect remotely, but it's not encrypted. SSH is encrypted for so you can connect to another system through the internet, and it has HTTPS. I mean, it has encryption like HTTPS, and FTP is for file transfer protocol. So this we're gonna do. So we're gonna do another. Let's say sudo Nmap, for example, Nmap is Nmap -s C, and we're going to tell them we need port 21, 22, 23, 25. We want DNS. Remember, 53 is DNS. Port 80 is HTTP protocol. Port 80 HTTP protocol. 445. 4. Over here, you can. This is the ports I'm looking. Is the same ports over here? See, Microsoft. See, and then we're gonna look for 5432 also. 5432 is Postgres. So 5432, and we're also going to look for 3306. 3306 port, okay, is MySQL. So you can have an idea. 3306, okay, on the target machine 192.168.100.18, and we're going to tell them to save it on service serve scan serve. Scan that txt, and we'll run this. This also will be saved, and then we're gonna go. Oh, but you know what? Let me cut it. Let me cut it because, yeah. Okay, let's run it again. I wanted to show you something, but in this case, I think I'm gonna have to show you later. So we're doing the scan over here. We're gonna make sure we save it later. It might take a little while because in this scan, what I'm telling them is I want you to run the scripts and see if there's any vulnerabilities in port 21, which I was telling you was a FTP, transfer file protocol, 22 SSH protocol, and so on. So the scan is already, see? And it gave us the information, the vulnerabilities, and so on and so on. So this file is saved. I was going to tell you the other day, so we do ls -l. We have port scan over here, and we have service underscore over here. So if I wanted to tell you that if we run this command, for example, the same command, but you want to save it, for example, like this. Let's run this one, but you can save it in a minimized way, like that. So let's put another name, port scan 1, so it's not confused. And then we save it. I'm gonna show you that it's saved, but it looks different. So ls-l like that. So number 1 is this. So we do cut port scan 1.txt, for example, and you see how everything is less information, but it gives you the information. Okay, it tells you the ports, it tells you it's open, it's a TCP protocol, and it tells you it's a FTP. So that's how you go. See, SSH, like we were talked about, telnet, and so on and so on. This is kind of different ways you can save your information. Okay, now what we do with this information? Okay, let's open Firefox, for example. Let's open this Firefox. In the meantime, let me clear this. So let's do ls again, and let's open this file, the scan we did, port scan, service scan. Let's do service scan. So cut serve scan.txt. So this scan over here is telling us the information of the vulnerabilities. So like I said, we're gonna use Metasploit in the console to find and get access into these systems using their vulnerabilities. But let's say how we get to know about this. So for example, port 21 file transfer protocol. Okay, so we're talking about this. So it says that it has a vulnerability that anybody can log in just with anonymous. See, it shows you over here. Now, the reason I'm showing you this so you can, in reality, what it did when I did the scan, it went in. It made sure it got in, and it's giving you over here the information connected. So it actually went through, and then it logged out. Okay. So in our case, let's say you did your scan and you have this information, enough information to go and find all you need in order to get into that system. So let's go with this protocol, right? So how do you check it? Okay. So we go to the navigate to our browser, for example, and we look, for example, for this is FTP. So we look for the version of this service. Yeah, that's what I was telling you. I forgot to put the version of the service is not here. So let me do another one. Okay. Let me do. So you can be just to take it from there. See that I should have done this way. When I did this, I should have made it like this, -a like that. So it gives me everything. It gives me everything like operation system and the script, but I forgot. So let's wait. Let's make a run for a bit. Wait. In the meantime, this FTP. Let's go over here because we already ran this. Oh, I erased it. Okay, per scan. So we wait for a minute. It's no rush. But what I'm telling you is that you can go on the internet and you can say, for example, you say exploit. All you gotta do is investigate. Exploit. So you can say, I already have it over here. See, exploit. This is the version of that vulnerability. So you can go and look for it because for sure there's going to be people that already wrote about this, who created content about this. And to tell you the truth, this is what you need, is to investigate, to run. GitHub is the platform where most of the cybersecurity and software engineers at. So over here you will find a lot of information. GitHub, you can go and look different, like you can also go over here, look into exploit database and find information about that vulnerability. You see, it tells you, and so on and so on. But what I'm gonna teach you in this section of the course is how to use Metasploit to automate, to make it quicker and easier. Okay, so let me close that. So now, after we run